native, District 3 resident, former city council candidate of District 3 2021. Greetings and welcome back to you all, Council, Mayor Pro Tem. To those who are in opposition of short-term rental, I would like for you all to walk with me for a moment. Your voices are being heard. Your voices are the loudest. So I say with this being said, now that your voices are heard and have been the loudest, what will your elected official do when it comes time for making a vote? I say hold them accountable to a vote, either a yes or a no. No recusals, no disappearing acts, meaning they're not available because they had other engagements, but a vote, yes or no. This will let you know what they think about you all collectively, because the majority thus far has spoken, and I believe in the majority rule. That's how politics normally works, unless there's corruption, unless someone has been paid under the table to do otherwise. So I say those who are in opposition of short-term rentals, you need a vote, yes or no, from your council member. Regardless of what district it is, you need a vote. Fort Worth has been given away already to business interests, and we can't continue to go in that direction. The citizens of this city are the ones that the council are to represent, not business interests. In my last 30 seconds, I would say, I know many of you stood in opposition of Proposition F, and that dealt with the council's pay raises, pay increases during the last bond election, city charter amendments, etc. I want the council to know that the no vote for your pay raises, it wasn't nothing personal. I told you all to search within yourself to find out why it didn't happen. So again, those who stand in opposition of short-term rentals, you need a vote, yes or no? Thank you.
Thank you. Next speaker is James Smith.
Good afternoon, Council. My name is James Smith. I live in District 8. Councilman Neville is my councilman. Every time I come here heavy-hearted, disappointed. But on July 4th of this year, I went to Dallas. I was invited to Dallas. And I was in I wouldn't call it a protest, it was a freedom of speech. And I walked the streets of Dallas with a 4x8 sign on the top end asking for justice. I felt liberated because I can't do that here. For 3 hours, I walked the city of Dallas. And I felt bad because I can't do that here. I digress. As you all know, this trial, this travesty hasn't been addressed yet. I'm hearing that a date will be by the end of the year, which pretty much cements the 3-year mark in this tragedy. I find that unacceptable. I stood here in 2019 and I heard the word accountability, transparency. I haven't seen any of that. And if you follow this trial, this case, you see it too. Freedom of speech, freedom of expression, and freedom to film in a public building. If that's the law, if that's what it's supposed to be, why isn't it being that? I find that problematic. October 19, 2019, I filmed with my eyes the tragedy across the street from me. It's like a burned CD in my head. I spoke about trust between the citizens and the police department. I don't trust the police. When I see a man arrested for nothing, to see a young man escorted out of this chamber for nothing, I'll watch you guys at home, let them come down here. I heard the word nauseum. I actually wondered, were y'all nauseated by me coming down here talking about a toxic energy officer for almost 3 years? I don't know what the outcome of this trial is going to be, but from what I read in the Fort Worth Weekly last week, I'm perplexed. Because I know in the city of Fort Worth we have attorneys, we have lawyers, we have scholars. And there is a mention of impropriety in the process that's been going forward, and nobody has said anything. So I'm wrestling with myself. Mr. James, what are you going to do with this information of something not going right? What are you going to do with it? I'm wrestling with it. And when I figure that out, the city of Fort Worth will know. Thank you for your time.
Thank you. Next speaker is Rebecca Delossowicz. You can correct the pronunciation when you get to the microphone.
Hello, I'm Rebecca Delossowicz, and in 2017 I called 911 because I was assaulted, and the deputy took the side of the man who assaulted me. He took me to a psych hold because he didn't like my attitude, and he abused me. And I've been trying to get justice for over 5 years. That man sent out CPS who took the side of the man who assaulted me, took the side of everyone who assaulted me, and then they took my children for 5 months wrongfully. My children were assaulted by the man who assaulted me initially. I live with children who have been so traumatized that they have disabilities from the trauma. And it's been over 5 years that I have tried to get someone here to help me. I have to go home and tell my children, you are worth being protected from violence. I have to tell myself every day that I'm worth being protected from violence in this city. I have PTSD therapists with me. I have people standing with me. I will protect my sons from violence. And if you send out CPS or deputies to try to tell me that the men who assault me are right, or the men who assault my children are right, you will be wrong. There is no way anyone can make me believe that a man who hits my child that's not related to me is right. And if a deputy tells me that it's my attitude why he's taking me to a psych ward, dear God, what men think they can take a woman because they don't like her attitude? You can take our rights, and you can take us and throw us in freaking psych wards. You cannot like us. You don't have to like my attitude. But you can't tell me that I cannot protect my children from violence. And you can't stand with men who violate me and assault me. I want justice for my children. I want Deputy Doomit, who assaulted me. I want Larry Graham, who assaulted me. I want CPS Nate Savage. I want all three of them to pay for the pain my children have suffered. My children are worth protecting from violence. Anyone who doesn't think so, wrong. I am saving up to move out of this city so my children are triggered every day when we walk outside. After 5 years, my son tells me, we can save up money, Mom. One day we'll be wealthy enough to make them care that we were assaulted. If your children were assaulted, coming to you, they couldn't sleep at night. They had nightmares. What would you do? What would you do? I don't care if I'm mad. I don't care if anybody likes my attitude. I'm here for my boys. I could care less about anything else. And I'm sorry because it's not any of your fault. You don't even know me. But I hope to God you do something.
Thank you, Ms. Delossowicz. And this matter involves the Tarrant County Sheriff's Department. Chief, you might want to coordinate and facilitate an introduction to GK maintenance. Next speaker is Doreen Geiger in person.